You want to introduce this one? Because you didn't.
I don't care.
You introduce it because I always introduce
What
it.
am I supposed to say?
You say, "Hey y'all, welcome back to Beauty and the Beard." It's Lee Tucker here and Juju Capagrassi with
Right.
Royale Lynn.
Can I call you Crappergast? I'm just
You
kidding.
do whatever you want.
I'm just kidding. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Beauty and the Beard with Lee Tucker and Juju Capagrassi and Royale Lynn.
Can we just do it again? Do it again from the top.
Why?
I totally thought that you were gonna just do it one.
I did, didn't
No, you took a long pause.
I?
So she waved when she you were like Juju Capagrassi and she's like, and I was like,
Fine.
my hands are.
All right, let's take a drink. Every time we fuck up, let's take a drink. Here we go. There we go. Woo!
Oh my god.
Welcome back to another episode of Beauty and the Beard with Juju Capagrassi and our friend Royale Lynn.
Hi.
And let's get started. We already started. That's what's in the cup.
We already started drinking. So
yeah.
we're here with Royale Lynn. Royale has a new single coming out this summer. Tell us
Yes.
about that a little bit.
It'll be out in July. It's called Alcatraz. I am super excited for it to release. We just did the cover shoot last night and it looks stellar.
Have you ever been to Alcatraz?
I have not. That's actually on my bucket list. I really want to go to Chernobyl in Russia, and and I really want to go to Alcatraz. So we wrote the song kind of based on Alcatraz, but it really has nothing to do with the actual place.
How did you get interested in that idea? How did you think of that title?
Always been obsessed with Alcatraz.
Really?
Yeah, it's always been a weird quirk of mine that I just find it so fascinating, and jail's always, I don't know, it's the creepy side of things. I really like scary things.
Yeah, I've been
You've
to
been?
Alcatraz.
Oh my goodness.
And they put us in a room. I was 7 years old, maybe 6. We went with our mom. My sister and I went with my mom. And you take a boat out there, obviously, and then they take you on a tour of it. And they took us into a room. I can't remember what the room's called, but it's when you are in trouble. Obviously you're in jail, so you're in trouble. But but when you do something bad in jail,
Yes.
they put you
Isolation?
in a hole or something.
It's
yeah.
isolation.
But it's without any wind. It's the scariest thing. It's so dark. It's one of the darkest places ever. They close the door
They
and
put you in there?
They call
Yes.
it the hole.
Yeah.
But today's prison system, there's
Lord.
nothing like that. Really.
Yeah, but it was, and I was 6 and I started crying.
Oh my God.
They shut us in there with everyone, everyone on tour, and I immediately started crying because I've never seen anything that dark, and
Oh
you
my
probably
God.
never will.
Well, I can assure you that
Oh, you've only been alive 6 years at this point. Where else could you have been?
No, I mean still to this
I know,
day.
I
I've
know, I'm
never
kidding.
seen
I'm
anything that
kidding.
dark.
I can assure you both that the black hole is not in the song. So no worries.
No, it's the black hole. Black hole sun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now, what's something that's really cool about you is your style. You
Yes.
don't kind of do what a lot of country singers are doing now. You stick with the traditional.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you do that? What inspires you to do that?
I kind of grew up that way. My mom has always been very Western, and she showed horses growing up. So we've kind of always had the culture around the household. So I feel like I got a lot of my inspirations from her, and I really kind of brought it to my own, sort of uniqueness, because we don't wear cowboy hats. We have different kinds of hats that my mom always wore, but we didn't have traditional cowboy hats, and I actually didn't get my first adult cowboy hat until I was probably 20 years old. And my first one I bought with my own money, and they're expensive. So it was
Oh, yeah.
a big step for me, and I always went with Rodeo King, and now I get the opportunity to work with them, which is amazing.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so
Where are you from originally?
I'm from a little small town called Elmer, Ontario. It's up in Canada.
Oh, I did not realize you were Canadian.
Yeah,
Canadian
that's so
cowgirl.
cool. I'm so nice.
You're. She is very nice. I can vouch for that. So what inspired you to move to Nashville? Obviously you're a great singer and all that stuff, and I've heard you sing, and she's amazing. Your range is insane. But what was kind of the final, okay, I have to do this?
Well, my mom and, my family really wanted me to go to college. So in Canada, we call it university. Mm-hmm. So I went to university, and I sat there for 2 years, and I hated it. So I didn't tell anyone, and except my friends, and I dropped out. And I kind of just told my mom I was still going to classes. And
oh my gosh.
And after I did fail some classes because I really didn't care, and I went to school somewhere where it was really cold. Like, so cold that
You didn't want to get out of bed.
you had pins and needles as soon as you stepped out the door.
Mm-hmm.
That's how north in Canada I was, up in Ottawa. So I kind of decided that, like, music kept following me everywhere I went. So I went to university and I took musical theater, and I hated it, which I love musical theater. So clearly it was just the wrong path.
Yeah.
And then I went and I dropped out, and I found music was following me everywhere. So finally I was like, well, I'd like to come to Nashville and see just if I like it. And I ended up dropping out, and I bought a brand new car, and I drove to Nashville 2 weeks later.
Hell yeah.
So, and then I stayed. Ever since then, I mean, I didn't stay. I legally was able to cross the border. And I worked really hard to be able to get my visa, because you can't just move countries, and you need a sponsor, so I really put the footwork in, so I wasn't moving to a new country with a dollar bill and like things that we just don't have.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been awesome, but it was definitely a big journey.
So who are your sponsors now?
So I work closely with Justin Boots, and I work closely with Rodeo King Hats. I have had a few things with Ariat for photos and stuff like that, and also a leather company that actually custom makes like chaps and Western wear that I can't find anywhere. So the new single cover has the chaps
Oh my gosh.
in it. Yeah, I'm very excited. And the chaps do say my name on either side. So
Well,
it's like so basic in the Western world.
That is so dope. Who like inspires you? Who do you listen to most?
I would have to say top of my list is always Cody Johnson. He probably thinks I'm creepy by now, but every single podcast, every time I talk about him. But it's seriously a true inspiration for, you know, especially someone from Canada, because he was able to break the Texas music scene and come here in Nashville, and it kind of gives me hope for people maybe, you know, from Canada or different parts of the world to really break the Western side of country music.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different genres, and I don't not like any different kind of genres.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can get down with Old Town Road just as quick as I can get down with some George Strait.
Yeah.
But he kind of brings a new light to that kind of music with a great message in every song. So
Yeah.
it's kind of why my love for him stems.
It's so funny. People like in Nashville, he's just now kind of becoming bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But before I heard about him from just a couple people.
Yep.
But they were obsessed with him. Like, once people start listening to him,
You can't
they're-
stop.
Yeah. So that's awesome that he's now finally getting like the Nashville recognition
Yes.
too, as well as where is he from? Is it Texas? Was he big in Texas?
Yes. So I actually heard about him 4 years ago. He was playing on a radio station in Canada. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I heard of him, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of I was like, oh, I love this guy, and then I saw his show,
Mm-hmm.
and it changed my world. I was like, you know, we can still have a good show and not have fog machines and a light show, and people go for the genuine music. Like, he has the song Me and My Kind, and I was in the Ryman when he played a few weeks ago for his, I think it was his first debut headlining the Ryman. And literally Me and My Kind were the only things sitting in that room.
Yeah.
So it was
Nice.
amazing to see that there's such a following.
That's so awesome.
And he has a song called Tonight I Just Don't Give a Damn. Ain't that That's the first thing I heard, but I don't even remember how I found it, but I was like, Jesus, I love this guy. That's been like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep.
And I was just playing around on iTunes and happened to run across it, because it was like, if you like this, you might also like this. And I'm like, well, shit, yeah, I like that. So then I downloaded more of his stuff, and I've just been jamming Cody Johnson for like 4 or 5 years now, and it's just awesome. That song really hits home.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I might care tomorrow, but tonight I just don't give a damn. I'm tired of fighting. I'm gonna drink.
I actually think you showed me that in Key West. Did you?
That's probably how we lived
think
in
you
Key
did.
West.
I showed
Yeah.
a lot of people a lot of things in Key
We
West.
did.
So
Oh, Lord.
Lee
Bless
took
it.
Royal, me, Priscilla, who was on one of our other podcasts, and who else? Dustin.
where did we go?
and his girlfriend, and we went on a ghost tour in Key West.
Did you say my girlfriend? Oh,
No,
Dustin's.
Dustin's
I was like,
girlfriend.
I had a girlfriend in Key West. I didn't remember.
Let me tell you, it was not the time to go on this ghost tour.
I've always wanted to go on a ghost tour, and finally I go on one. And of course, Dustin's just drunk, and Dustin gets up in the middle of the ghost tour. He's sitting in the back, He walks to the front of the bus like, I can't do this.
I gotta get off.
Yeah,
And he gets
I can't do this. And they just open the door and let him off. And he just walks into a store. I'm sure he needed a beer by this point. But I loved it because it was all the facts about Key West.
It was very historical.
And I'm nerdy like that. I'm like this nerdy
We zoomed
redneck.
past every haunted house down there.
Yeah. And there was people like, this guy's been talking about Robert the Doll the whole time. And there's this girl's like, who is Robert? I'm like, you're talking about this shit for 45 minutes. Where you been? Get off your phone, girl. Pay attention.
Storytelling. He's like, and here's the ghost.
Oh, yeah. Green, it was cheesy, but there were kids, so I get that.
Yeah, no, they were kids.
But the facts that he gave were awesome. It was just a great tour as far as that goes.
In case you guys don't know who Robert the Doll is, he's like a cursed doll.
Yeah.
Basically. Just
Like
to
Chucky, Chucky was based off of that. Like
and they have him and
Child's
we went
Play,
and
all
saw
that stuff.
him.
So yeah, it was creepy. I actually didn't take a picture because I was a little like, I'm not actually going to ask this doll's permission, so I'm just not going to take the picture.
Dude, when me and Jake were leaving, we were the last ones out of that room, and I was looking through the glass case that he was in, and I was like, Jake, that case is like moving from here, and I was like, they have to do something to make us all like scared before we leave, and he's like, that's really weird, let's close the door really quickly.
I went on a tour, on a ghost tour. We go on a ghost tour like every year for my birthday in Cape May, New Jersey. That's where we vacation. And they like tell you, they're like, take pictures like in the house and stuff because you get to walk through an old mansion. And there are like orbs in the pictures.
Oh.
But I also think that that's like that. Like I think they do something so that your camera picks up like little dots that look like orbs.
I've taken pictures like just going out. We used to say we were going ghost hunting. You just, get a girl, go riding down dirt roads and drinking. And shit like that. And anyway, so then you would go find this old house out in the woods and like, ooh, what was that? And it's like, I don't know, that kind of thing. And then take pictures. And actually one time it looked like there was like a little girl standing on the front porch one time.
Oh my God.
And I was, so we had a good time. So me and my friend went back and I actually had a Ouija board.
Oh, Lord.
There were some girls that's like, we should get a Ouija board. So I was like, shit. So I got on eBay and got a Ouija board because I was like, shit, if y'all want, we'll do it. Whatever. So anyway, so we actually did it. And then, so it started actually answering us and stuff. And then
No way.
she's like, I got to go home. And I was like, don't leave my ass here with this thing. So anyways, so she left. And then I'm laying there in bed like later. And I could have swore I heard that little cursor thing moving around in the top of the closet.
You left it in your closet?
I took that shit outside and went to sleep. Yeah.
No, you leave that on like a church front step and light it on fire. You're like,
it's still in my attic now. It's in the attic now.
Lee sent me the scariest video I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't a nude video or anything.
I'm pretty sure some of those were made in Key West, but I don't know.
Oh my God, no. So it was the one where your friend was driving up to the house.
Yeah.
And the little black thing.
That was in
crazy.
Statesboro, Georgia. Yeah.
Whew, that one got me. Not a lot
What
of
happened?
videos.
What was it?
It's Casey Yarborough sent it to me. So anyway, so Casey showed me this video. I'm like, you got to send that to me. I was like, where'd you get it? So it's actually these kids, or I say kids, they were college students in Statesboro, and they were going down this dirt road because there's a haunted house that's there. So they're pulling down the dirt road, and then the guy saved the video, and it's like this thing runs off the front porch, stops in front of the house, and then runs back up the front porch and runs back down and stops on stairs, and then runs back up. So, and it's all within 8 seconds. But the music is playing in real time, and it's a legit Snapchat, so there's no way to edit that.
No.
And it came from like a buddy, so it was like a legit. It's freaky because I've paused it and looked, and it looks like the damn little monster thing. I don't know what it is, but it's creepy.
We'll include it in this video.
Yeah.
We will. We can.
Oh my God, it literally scared me. I showed everyone in Key West after we did the trolley, because I was like, it was informative, but it wasn't this scary.
Yeah,
I didn't see any goblins running out of a house. But no, the trolley was fun.
It was fun. I just had to pee the whole time because in Key West you drink like all day.
All day.
And so this tour was an hour and a half, and so the entire tour, after like probably 20 minutes, I had to go.
We're sitting in
and
a
there's
bus seat
no
together,
bathrooms. I was literally
Eating
shaking.
popcorn.
He got popcorn and I ate all of it. But anyways, back to Royale's music. So you just had a single. That was a good transition, right? You just had a single. Tell us about that.
So I released No Saddle on February 8th. And it actually did really, really well, considering it was the first one that I released as like a Nashville resident, I guess I can say now.
Well, it got hot. It was on the iTunes chart.
Yeah, it made the country charts. At number 73, literally sitting beside "You Make It Easy" by Jason Aldean.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like blew my mind. And I actually, obviously, we celebrated the night before. It drops usually at 11 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we were all celebrating because 4 of us had songs released that night. And I actually got really drunk that night because we were excited, you know? Like, all of us had singles coming out. And
Was that Priscilla and Dustin, Stafford Stevens?
No.
Was that the same weekend?
it was me, Morgan Johnston, Noah Smith, and there was one more I can't remember.
Oh, okay. I just know they just had a big party the other night for their singles dropping.
Yeah, no, this was back in February, so it was fun. We had a blast, but I forgot to check.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as, like, obviously it went live, I forgot to check what the iTunes charts was. So by the time that I saw it, someone had screenshot it and sent a picture to me.
Well, that's nice.
By, like, let's say 8 a.m. So I was like, I wonder what it was at right when it released.
Yeah.
But I totally... Next time. So everybody pre-order the
Alcatraz.
next one. Alcatraz. Yeah, I'm super excited. The photo is gonna look phenomenal. It's very
Cool.
creative. It's not like anything you've seen yet. So
I saw there's a horse in it, right?
yes, they were there. I don't think they're gonna be in it,
Oh,
but they were definitely right beside me as we took the photo.
well, that's cool.
That's so fun. All right, well, thank you so much for coming out. I'm so glad. I actually just met you in
I
Key
know.
West, so I'm so glad we like hit it off, and now we're doing this.
How did we meet? I was trying to remember.
So, do you mean the times that you remember meeting me, or?
This seems to
I'm
be
in
a
the same
trend.
thing. It's a trend.
Yeah, sorry.
I went through the same thing.
I don't know. We met a few times out at like writers rounds and stuff, and I was like, Lee, like we gotta write, and then probably JC was kind of.
Yeah, that's when I think I actually remember you.
And
was
we came
with
over
Jason.
here and we wrote a song. It was a good one. I actually
Yeah.
rather liked that song. You should cut it.
I don't remember which one it was.
I'm just kidding. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
like a year ago.
I know.
But yeah, I think
been a
that's
while.
when we met.
Right. I was trying to remember. I know I met you a few times before, but
Oh,
same with her and everybody else. So
We
it's
actually
okay.
met in Key West. And it wasn't-
We did?
not this past one.
I still think
Like
we
the
met at
last one?
Losers.
We did meet at Losers, but we also met in Key West again,
Oh.
and then didn't remember me there either. And then
It
met again
happens.
and probably didn't remember me, and then we met.
oh my goodness.
Wow.
And then you really met. And then we really
Yeah.
Third time's a charm.
Right? Or you struck
Three-time
out.
meeting
Or-
town. No one remembers you until
No,
the third meeting.
honestly though, I'm guilty
At
of it too.
Hey,
I'm
we've
so
all
guilty.
been there.
Yeah.
There's some people who are just like, I cannot remember your name to save my life, but you just smile and nod, and you're like, who is that?
I just act like I know them, and then after they walk away, I'm like, hey, who was that?
Yeah.
same.
And I'm like,
Name.
I still don't know them shit. But
I'm
yeah.
terrible with names.
Last
I
night,
am
a guy
too.
came up to me after my show and came up and hugged me. And he was like, "You did so good" and stuff. And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And I just like could not remember who he was. And he came up to me later again, and I was like, "I'm sorry, who are you?" And he was like, "Oh, we follow each other on Instagram." And I was like,
Oh, one of those.
"Yeah." I don't
That's
know.
not
It's
bad.
on
It's a great
Instagram.
place to meet now.
It is. I'm glad he came up to me. But hell yeah. But thank you again for coming. Don't forget, you can go get No Saddle now on iTunes and Spotify and all that good stuff.
Yes.
And stay tuned for Alcatraz.
And we also want to give a shout out to our friends at Southern Sinclair for the cups.
For the cups. The personalized
So good.
cups. We love you
Yeah,
guys.
we do. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
See ya.